For me, you can't go wrong with a simple man versus nature movie. Sure, you can pack your film with elaborate character interactions and twists and turns, but there's something about films set in the thick woods where an unknown predator is out there somewhere stalking and hunting that gets me every time. Hunter, Hunter starts out that simple, but then becomes something much darker and much, much more. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights, a part of the Kings of Horror Network. I'm ML Miller. While you might be watching this video on the Kings of Horror Network, I urge you to click over to my ML Miller Frights page and give it a like, share with your buddies across the electronic superhighway, click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. Hunter Hunter is new on demand and digital download from IFC Midnight. It's directed and written by Linden. Idle Hands and Final Destination's Divan Sawa plays Mersalt, a simple man who lives on the land his family has owned for years. He lives off of the grid, with his family consisting of his wife, Anne, Camille Sullivan, and his daughter, Renee, played by Summer H. Howell. Mersalt and Anne do what they can to survive, collecting pelts from traps, tanning them, and then taking them into the town for trade. Mersalt is doing what he can to train Renee everything he knows about the woods and the creatures in them. But when it seems like a ferocious wolf has returned to their land, Mersalt knows this means danger to his family. Mersalt sets out alone to track and kill the wolf, leaving Anne and Renee back at the house to fend for themselves. With winter setting in, and food getting scarce, things begin to get dire for Anne and Renee when Mersalt doesn't return. Meanwhile, Mersalt happens upon a grisly scene in the woods that suggests a predator much more dangerous than a wolf. And a stranger, played by Nick Stahl, appears on Anne and Renee's doorstep with secrets of his own. Hunter Hunter is a meticulous and single-minded machine of a movie that points towards a horrifying end no matter how hard the characters attempt to avoid it. I was blown back in my seat by the way this film was put together. It definitely is something you would consider a slow burner, but never did I feel bored with this film. This is a story that isn't told so much as it simply plays out in a fashion where you really are not sure what type of film it is until the next event, which drags this beleaguered family, along with the viewer, deeper into a pit of utter despair. Set up like a gently set trail of dominoes, any alternative decision may change the outcome greatly, but looking back on the film, it is so purposefully constructed that you simply have to marvel at the way it all plays out. Writer-director Linden tells what seems like a simple story, but by the time the end comes around, the craftsmanship gone into making it all work is utterly astonishing. What I love about Hunter Hunter is that it plays with your expectations. Mersalt has been training Renee to be formidable in the woods, and one might assume, once he is out of the picture, Renee would be able to take up the reins and show her stuff. Anne is also set up to be dependent on Mersalt and eager to leave this life and start over in town. Again, one would assume that the movie would be some kind of female empowerment flick that shows how, when backed into a corner, Anne and Renee can be just as good a woodsman. But while I'm not going to say what happens, the way the story plays out is definitely against your typical Hollywood type. Both Renee and Anne are shocked when push comes to shove. They have difficulty accomplishing what Mersalt does. This isn't meant to be a pro-man movie. It's anything but. Instead of making this a gals do it better film, though, this one takes a much more realistic path, and it makes for a film that I found to be refreshing, surprising, and heart-wrenching because it chooses to portray the situation in the stark light of day rather than through a political Hollywood lens. Those who know Divan Sawa as the goofy teen are going to be surprised at how wonderfully grizzled and gruff he is in Hunter Hunter. The years haven't been kind to his character, Mersalt. Sawa plays him as a man who knows hard work, and every line in his face shows it. His protective nature, stubborn pride, and mastery of the wilderness pushes him to take on the evils of the woods head on, simply because that's what his role is. He understands nothing else. Sawa reflects this stubbornness marvelously in a nuanced and powerful performance. Camille Sullivan is fantastic as Marsalt's wife, Anne, who sees the situation the family is in for what it is. While she is supportive of her husband, she is protective of her family and knows the mountain they face in order to survive. I love the way she not only shows her strengths, but her weaknesses, though. She too is stuck in her ways and dependent on Marsalt to live. There's a scene where she must kill to have food on the table that is heart-crushing. I also love Nick Stahl's smaller but potent role as the stranger. Where he has less nuance to work with, he does provide some memorable moments that factor greatly into the fate of this family. While the cast is small, everyone is giving their all to bring this rugged tale to life. My God, this turned out to be an abrasive and unshaven film. It never shies away from how hard a life these people are living, and leads to an ending that is going to curb stomp any hopes and dreams you might have had. This truly is a man against nature film, but it is more than that, as it delves into the inhuman side of the human condition and what it takes for a person to completely lose any semblance of humanity. The ending is gnarly and bloody, but feels like it's a necessary wrap-up given the arduous trail we've taken from the beginning. If you aren't knocked on your ass by the nerve-shredding final moments of Hunter x Hunter, check for a pulse and a soul. It's slightly stylized, but stark, rough, and will penetrate deep into your heart and twist the knife. Hunter x Hunter is one of those films that gets better and better as it goes on until you find yourself lost in the darkest caves of the human soul, and lost that light of humanity you were counting on to lead you out. That'll be it for today. Please chime in the comments and let me know what you think of this video, how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. If you like this video, please pound that thumbs up button. Share this video with your social media addicted pals. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on mlmillerwrites.com. Don't forget, I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look for. Grave Trancers is out right now, and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, will be out in November in only the finest of comic book stores. And be sure to subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for alerts to be the first to see my future videos. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're